Hello and welcome back to another episode of HBO Max. It's a podcast where we watch and review movies. We have a good time. It's a fun time. I'm one of your co-hosts, Makenna. Joining me is my other co-host, Brandon. Hello, Brandon. How are you?
Hi, I'm really excited to talk about a baseball movie today.
And joining us is our very special guest, Mario. How are you today, Mario?
Oh boy, I'm so happy to be here. I've chastised about this movie for a couple weeks now, and honestly, we picked the perfect time to watch this movie.
We did. So we should preface this. Apparently, League of Our Own not on HBO Max anymore. Went off. We're recording on July 1st. Went off July 1st. So if you want to watch it, you're gonna have to pay for it somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. If you're doing that, watch it on Amazon. It's cheaper. If you want to. Yeah, I had I was being a little late about it, and of course, I decided I was going to rent the movie, or I was going to watch on HBO Max this morning, and turns out not there. So I decided, why not buy the 4K version on YouTube for $16? Because I love this movie so much. I did it for the craft, and then just a second ago, we found out that it was cheaper on Amazon. So your mileage may vary.
we appreciate you spending that money for us.
No, 100%. You got to do it.
God. So, just start off. So I've never seen this movie before, which is going to be the usual for all of these movies on this podcast because I haven't seen a lot of movies. So, starting off with Brandon, what is your experience with A League of Their Own?
I had seen this movie a couple times, but not in a very long time. We watched this movie in high school, actually. We were talking about just like the effects of World War II and stuff, and it's like, here's a fun movie we can watch about, that time period. I didn't remember a lot of the movie, to be honest with you. A lot of the stuff kind of came at me by surprise. I kind of forgot about the book ending parts of the movie with them being older and stuff. I forgot that John Lovitz is barely in this movie, because when I think about this movie, I think about Tom Hanks and I think about John Lovitz.
You think about that
mustache? He's in this movie for like 10 minutes tops.
Yeah.
So weird.
John Lovitz in Seinfeld. Fun fact. He's I have written down Gary Fogel, who was the guy that had cancer but didn't actually have cancer, and then he got hit by a car or something, and then he died. There you go. There's your fun fact for the day.
Sounds like a John Lovitz character.
There you go. I was watching. I was like, this guy looks familiar. I was like, oh, he's from Seinfeld. That's why. Mario, you chose this movie. I'm curious why you chose this movie. What is your experience with this movie?
So I grew up in the age of the original HBO, before HBO became the streaming service. And well, HBO is still around. I just don't acknowledge it. But, during the home box office days, this would play all the time. Like, you cannot miss this movie in the 90s. So I, as someone who grew up in, Chicago, I'm right next to actually White Sox Park, which I will only refer to as White Sox or I don't refer to it as anything else. But baseball has definitely is a DNA in Chicago. So watching this movie and being in this neighborhood, it's always been like, yeah, this movie is incredible. Not only the fact that I'm also a huge fan of the director of the movie, who, I grew up watching Laverne and Shirley all my life. And so I watched a lot of Penny Marshall films. And this one is my favorite of hers by far. Because the cast is amazing, top from bottom, from Gina Davis all the way down to Tom Hanks. So it's just like stacked with side characters that are fun and interesting. And like, this is the kind of movie that you'd watch and you are almost in love or hate a lot of everybody, which I love. Like, there's just so many characters, including John Lovitz, of course, who only has a small role, but he makes an impact. And so there's a lot of that in this movie that I just adore so much. And I have a huge crush on Lori Petty, who
yeah,
kid. And they do too, of course.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep, dogs.
Yeah, they love Lori Petty.
Shout out to Lori Petty. Come on the show. So Yeah, so Penny Marshall, like I said, I haven't seen a lot of movies, but I didn't realize she was Laverne in Laverne and Shirley. Like, growing up, my sister and I were referred to as Laverne and Shirley because we were always just together. We were in the basement just hanging out. I've never seen Laverne and Shirley, so I don't know, like, the basement connection. I assume they live in a basement, so I don't know. Laverne and Shirley. Something like that, yeah. But, yeah, I was like, oh, I know about Laverne and Shirley. And then, like, she directed Big, which was... Let me refer to my notes. The first film directed by a woman to gross more than $100 million, which was pretty cool. And of course, that's Tom Hanks. Pretty big Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah.
And she did like Awakening, Renaissance Man, and everything. And then it's this movie composed by Hans Zimmer.
Oh my God. I was shocked when I watched it this morning and I saw that title and I was like, what?
Yes.
Because the song that plays is not his song, but you're just like, wait, what? Like you just, I'm hearing like in my head, So 100%. When I saw it this morning, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I was scrolling through the Wikipedia page. I was like, oh, am I reading this correctly? Like that's pretty crazy. Also, it was released July 1st, 1992. So despite it coming off of HBO Max on July 1st. We're recording it on the day it was released, 29 years ago. It's hitting the big 3-0 next year. Get hype. Oh my God. It had a budget of $40 million, and worldwide, it has grossed $107.5 million, which, last time I checked, a lot of money. Just a bit. Just
pretty good.
Yeah. Pretty good. In 2012, it was selected for preservation in the U.S. National Film Registry by the Library of Congress for being, quote, culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. That's a big deal, too. Library of Congress, And also, I realized I never really explained the plot. It's a fictionalized account of the AAGPBL, which is the All American Girls Professional Baseball League from, like Brandon mentioned, World War II. Whenever the men were shipped off, and they're like, "Yo, we don't have baseball. Let's put the women in. Why not?" 1943,
Yeah.
Which was that was really interesting because I don't think I realized that. I'm like, oh, go women. Shout out to women.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going through these fun facts, Just stop me at any point.
Yeah. No, we like the facts.
Like the facts. I got a lot of facts. Well, not all. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no crying in baseball, which completely forgot is from this film.
Yes. Have you ever heard that phrase before?
I have, but I didn't know it was from this. I had no clue.
Yeah. No, that's ingrained in my body. There's no crying in baseball. Like the way he says it, like it's just built in. And then obviously, having that character, oh my God, I forgot her character's name. She's just such a whimpering mother, but has the most bad kid you've ever seen in a movie.
Oh my God, that kid.
Oh my God, I can't remember what her name was.
Oh shoot, I have it. Is it? I couldn't. Helen. No. Ellen Sue? Was it Ellen Sue?
I think it is.
I think it was. I'm going through the cast. I think so.
So am I.
I recognize them when they're in uniform.
Names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
if they're not in uniform, I don't recognize.
Oh yeah, no. I was reading through the castles afterwards.
You're an awesome actress.
Yes. I was reading through the castles. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure. Also, I did know Madonna and Rosie O'Donnell was in this too.
Oh my God.
But I was like, oh, okay, Tom Hanks, Gina Davis, Madonna?
And honestly, she's fucking awesome in this movie.
I always forget that it is Madonna because I remember Rosie O'Donnell because this is one of the two movies that I know she's in. And then it's this and the Flintstones. And I always forget that her sidekick in this is Madonna.
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty big. I think that's part of why the movie did so well at the box office and stuff, because once Tom Hanks and his prime run of movies, and then also Madonna's there, that's a draw.
Yeah. I mean, I think the role previous to this, or if it was after, I'm not sure, but it was Dick Tracy, which which did not do well. But I'm happy that at least I did not taint this movie specifically. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, no, the cast again, top to bottom, front to back, every single person is interesting and fun, and I love their inclusion in the story. Even Marla Hooch's like little like story is just so sweet. And yeah, just everybody. I love it. I love this movie. I just want to live in this universe, even though it was history. Which,
oh my, yeah, it was crazy.
It's sort of a weird thing that they do in this movie because it is based on a real thing, and quite a few of the people in the movie are based off of real people, but they just completely make everything up instead.
Yeah, 100%.
It like that's. I don't think you would see movies being made like that today. Like today, it would be all about snatching up the likeness rights or a book deal or whatever, so that you could use all these characters and stuff. But like even just like having to have it not be Philip K. Wrigley as the owner of the league. That's such a weird thing for this movie that they decided like the tryout scene is in Wrigley Field. Like, why are we pretending like this guy isn't the owner of the Cubs?
Which, of course, if I'm not mistaken, he is played by Gary Marshall, Penny Marshall's brother, who's also a fucking huge. I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm supposed to curse.
Doesn't really matter.
Okay, huge, director in his own right, directing some of the best movies. Like, I think did Penny or Gary do Devil's Wear Prada?
I think that
neither
is
possible that neither did.
Yeah,
that's how messed up my memory is.
Let's check.
But even so, they still have excellent movies. And by the way, you might recognize them, Makenna. Did you ever watch Hocus Pocus? Oh my God, you never watched it? Okay. They play husband and wife in a cameo in that movie. So enjoy.
I'll watch out for that.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. But anyways, yeah, I just love the fact that he is here and he just has a small. There's also so much DNA of Laverne and Shirley in this movie too that I love.
The Gary Marshall inclusion apparently was they couldn't afford the person that they wanted to get, because obviously this movie had such a large budget that she was just like, "Hey, you want to come do this for the movie?" And he was like, "Yeah, okay."
He knocks it out of the park.
Oh yeah, Ew, baseball.
Yeah.
I was just on Gary Marshall's Wikipedia page. His niece is Tracy Reiner, who is Betty Spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why is her name in purple?
Well, that is Penny Marshall's daughter.
What?
Yeah.
I love it.
Wow. This movie's crazy.
This movie's incredible. I just love that Tom Hanks spends half the movie drunk.
Yeah.
It's both a searing but asshole, and both like a very enduring character by the end of it.
I particularly like his prayer at the end. Because like I went 13 years at Catholic school, never heard a prayer like that, and I wish we did. That was incredible. That was fantastic. Love Tom Hanks though. I mean, I know I keep saying I haven't seen a lot of movies, but a bunch of those movies have been Tom Hanks movies.
He doesn't miss. Even the bad ones are still good, just because he's a friend, personally.
Oh yeah. He's one of my favorite characters from Family Ties. Family Ties is one of my favorite shows of all time. Tom Hanks makes a cameo, a couple episodes.
Oh, really?
He also plays a drunk though.
Yeah, he's the alcoholic uncle in that, right?
Yeah, he is. Well, when he is not being an alcoholic asshole, he's being. I liked his character in Family Ties as well. That was a big shock for me too. I was like, Tom Hanks just showed up. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Family Ties. So Family Ties next. There's no crying in baseball. It is 54th on the American Film Institute's 2005 list, 100 years, 100 quotes list. I think I said list twice. 100 years, 100 quotes from 2005.
Which is a good one.
It's Yeah, it's a good one. And I had no clue it was from this movie. There's a couple things from this movie where I was like, oh, so that's what that's from. Okay, I'm picking things up.
Yeah.
And then so there was also a TV series that was spun off of this.
Yeah, you blew my mind for that because I actually did not know that. So there was a TV series that's been off from this.
1993.
Really?
It aired on CBS. Had 6 episodes. Only 5 episodes aired.
Oh.
There were 3 episodes in April of 93, and then the last, or episodes 4 and 5, aired in August of 93.
TV was so weird back in the day.
Oh yeah,
I could not imagine you do that.
It's great. Well, it was some of my favorite. They have like 1-sentence descriptions of the episodes. Some of my favorites include the team gets a chimpanzee as a new mascot. The team gets entered into a dance marathon. Jimmy and Dottie go on a date together after Jimmy is dumped and Dottie's husband forgets their anniversary. I mean, we really missed out on a classic. You know?
Clearly.
And some of the first episode was directed by Penny Marshall, and the third episode, the chimpanzee episode, was directed by Tom Hanks. So you know.
Now I really want to watch this. This is incredible.
I know. I'm gonna have to look for this now. And then there is a reboot happening. It's still in production right now. The release date it's unknown, but it's going to be an Amazon Prime reboot. And new characters centered around the team formation, 1943. And Nick Offerman's going to be in it. He's going to play like the coat. He's going to play Tom Hanks's equivalent.
Okay.
So interesting stuff, you know?
Yeah, I'll probably watch that.
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'm curious because Nick Offerman is another one of those actors that I feel like can go left and right at any second. And even though he plays mostly like stoic people that talk like this, I could definitely see him just hamming it up on this and having a good time. So yeah, I'm all. I mean, honestly, I think the format of the movie is what also makes it great. Is this sort of like ragtag group of just not nasty girls. There's some of the girls have like, how can I describe them? Like, they all come from different walks of life, but when you put them together, they're very much like the Bad News Bears of a team, and they just work. And I think that's what I think would really be honestly kind of awesome on a TV format, to go game by game or situation to situation. I don't know how many chimpanzee episodes we'll end up getting. I'm hoping at least 1, at least 2.
Yeah. They got the budget for 2, you know.
Yes.
They're Amazon Prime show. They got it.
100%. God, what would you cast in that? Like
they? Oh wait,
they have a cast.
They have a cast. Hold on, let me.
Are they no names, or these are all like?
I didn't recognize a lot of them, but then again, it's me, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's also fair, yeah.
Let's see here. Abby Jacobson. So it's going to be written and executive produced by Abby Jacobson, and she's starring, or she's cast in it.
Okay.
Darcy Carden from The Good Place. Kelly McCormick from Ginny and Georgia. Melanie Field from Heathers. That's a few of them, at least.
Okay. You got me interested with Broad City. Abby Jacobs. So
yeah, she's great.
That's a good first. I can see her as a Dottie, or even a Kit. Like character, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to read a quote from The Hollywood Reporter about this, but I just completely forgot. I skipped over. It's about the show, about what it's about. So it's going to follow the league and its players as they fight to keep it alive through close games, injuries, sexual awakenings, and road trips across a rapidly changing U.S.
All right.
Interesting.
I do love that this is on on Amazon, because they could be I think this is a PG-13 movie, right?
That sounds right.
Sounds about right, because there's nothing too crazy in this movie.
No.
But PG is actually PG. Okay.
Oh wow.
I mean, I wouldn't mind for them to go a little more brash and maybe even sillier and crazier with it. So coming from Broad City, which, I mean, they did some really fun and messed up things there. I would like to see that influence in A League of Our Own. I think that'd be kind of interesting. But yeah, no, I think overall, I Yeah, I'll watch that TV show. Give it to me now.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that first trailer. It'll be
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, let's do it. Right?
Yeah.
Let's go for it. You know? Put us in. Let us on the team. Let us on the production team, you know?
Right.
Oh yeah,
Why
no, we're
not?
definitely qualified for
We're
that.
qualified, you know? We know all about the leagues in their own.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're all about it here.
Huge
Um,
redemption fans.
So Brennan, do you got any fun facts for us about this
I
movie?
got a few that we haven't really gone over. So Gina Davis's character is based on Dottie Collins, who was a really like probably the best player in the entire All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. She threw 17 shutouts over a 6-year career, which is pretty good. Tom Hanks is based off of Jimmy Fox, who is a Hall of Fame baseball player from, I think he's most notably from the Chicago Cubs, but he won some World Series on some other teams and stuff. And then, like we said before, Walter Harvey is based on Philip K. Wrigley, who made gum and owned the Cubs. That's kind of what his whole deal was.
And has a tower down here. That's about that's about it. That's all I care about. Stay to the north side, you know. That's all I gotta say.
The one thing I found was interesting was Gina Davis was pretty last minute hire for the movie.
Really?
When the script was done, Penny Marshall originally envisioned Demi Moore playing the role. But when they started going into production, Demi Moore was pregnant and she wouldn't be able to do the movie. And then they had cast Deborah Winger. Deborah Winger ended up dropping out because she took exception to having Madonna be in the movie. She compared it to like making an Elvis movie, that like she felt that they should hire a real actor and not just get Madonna.
Oh.
Yeah. So she left and then Gina Davis was brought on kind of last minute. Pretty much
Through you.
Gina Davis is the only one of the women who actually had a stunt double, I guess, for the baseball scenes, and that was mostly because the doing the split catch, she wasn't able to do that from a run, so they had to bring in a stunt person who could do that. Yeah. But if you watch the movie, you can see that like all the women have these like just like bruises on their arms, cut up on like their legs and stuff. Those are all real, pretty much. They make a joke about it in the movie about how impractical the costumes are, the uniforms, and they were pretty much required to play baseball in these scenes in those uniforms. So like there's that one quick shot of the girl who has that massive bruise on her thigh. Yeah, that was real.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
And it didn't go away for like a whole year.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at that scene right now and I'm watching it in 4K, and that looks legit.
Yeah.
It looks pretty bad.
Yeah, so like they got beat up pretty good doing the movie.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, baseball. Ow.
Baseball's a tough sport to play. You can. I mean,
it feels like, you know, sitting down and waiting, but actually when you gotta like be on it, yeah, you could absolutely just like, because you're I mean, some plays you're just throwing your body and praying you get to, you know, to one of these bases. So I can understand that when it comes to all the ladies, you know, having to deal with that. That's pretty hardcore, even for that time, I would say, like for the real people, and then even for the people acting.
And in a skirt? Ooh.
Yeah.
I played sports in a skirt, and it's not easy. You got like airflow, and it's like, come on, you're slowing me down.
Yes.
It's like, I just don't come on. You know. You know, league of their own. Gina Davis, you just mentioned, she was married to Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. No, that happened. Yeah.
For like 3 years. I think they got divorced right before this movie came out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's incredible.
Thank you. We love Jeff Goldblum. Love him. So I was like, oh my God.
They meet. They were in 2 movies together that I remember growing up, which of course was The Fly was the big one. But there's another movie that not a lot of people remember, and it's called Earth Girls Are Easy.
Yep.
and he's an alien with Jim Carrey, and one of the Wayans brothers are these different colored aliens that come and land in a pool. And in Gina Davis's pool, and then she rescues them. She takes them to a barber shop, shaves them because they were hairy colored beings, and turns them into surfer bros. And Jeff Goldblum looks like a god in the movie.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it's such a classic. So the fact that you said that they're married, yeah, that definitely, yeah, that makes sense. After watching that movie,
it's on HBO Max.
Oh my god, you gotta do that! It's like you gotta do that episode. I can't wait to watch that one. That would be great.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that one.
Oh, we have to.
It's awesome. It's just a music video. That's all it is. It's a weird, wacky music video.
I think it's mostly remembered because it's Jeff Goldblum and Jim Carrey in the same movie together, which is weird.
He's not the lead. He's just a side character. Like he's one of the side guys, and it's crazy.
It's like what is it? Peggy Sue's Getting Married, where it's Jim Carrey and Nicolas Cage together.
Yeah.
And like they don't do a whole lot, but they sing together at one point, and that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. It's like that's like these one-off dreams. Like, wouldn't it be great if there was a movie that there was? Like, man, the 80s were a wild time.
Movies are wild.
Yeah.
That's what I've been learning, you know?
No,
there's something for everything. I mean, I
don't know. What are some of your favorite scenes in the movie? Because there's a lot of stuff that happens in it.
That's a good question.
My favorite is obviously there's no crying in baseball. There's also the scene where it's a montage scene where we're all like doing wacky stuff, and I think it's Rosie O'Donnell like goes to catch a ball and comes back with a hot dog.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
I say my favorite scene was probably the second most famous scene, but it's when the girls first meet Tom Hanks and he just runs to the urinal and is there for like 2.5 minutes. It's so funny.
Oh man, especially it's pre Austin Powers, so this is probably like the longest be on television and TV.
I really just like it's not a specific scene, but just whenever Stillwell was just hanging out and he was just causing havoc. It's like what a time to be a kid. 1943 on a baseball, all a women's baseball team just traveling, hanging out, getting into it.
You got this child who has that also one scene where I think it's Tom Hanks and Rosie O'Donnell are trying to like tear something out of him and they're holding him upside. They're trying to like get this thing away from him. I love it. I love it. That's so funny. The other thing, by the way, you brought up the fact that this movie has bookends. Now, watching on HBO, Makenna, I don't know if you realize this, movies just play at any time. Okay. So I would watch this movie and sometimes never see that. So when but I remember the ending having the bookend. I didn't remember the beginning having a bookend. And watching it this time, I was heavily distracted by the fact that her voice does not match her body.
Yeah.
Did
they have Gina Davis overdub her voice onto that?
Yeah. Because I looked on IMDb to see like there was a different actress. It was a different actress. Her name is Lynn Cartwright. She's pretty much known for this and old 50s like scary movies like The Wasp Woman or The Queen of the Outer Space. And then, I mean, obviously she was a Dynasty. Okay. But like, this is the one where I'm like, oh, wait, Dottie? Like, older Dottie? Like, yeah. But I was just like, whoa, this is weird. Because at first I'm like, wait, is it Gina Davis in makeup? And she kind of.
I thought it was first too. And it wasn't until we got to the end half and I looked through the Wikipedia. I was like, oh, wow, that's actually a different person. Yeah. Mostly because like, Gina Davis has such that defined jaw, and they managed to find an older woman who had that exact same jaw, which is just magical.
Yeah. So when I was listening to the voice, I'm like, there's some uncanny thing that's off right now, and then I realized like, oh, it's not the same person. As much as I would have loved old technology, I guess may have. Wait, I'm trying to think back. Did they do for prosthetics like that in '92? I think they did. But
they did, but they would look terrible.
It would have looked real bad. I'm actually kind of happy they did not do that.
Yeah, I didn't realize I knew there was some baseball thing and Tom Hanks was there. So I was like, it started off and I was like, how is baseball gonna play into this? This is and then it is like, ooh, then it's flashback, then it's the longest flashback ever, and then it's like, oh yeah, here we are, boom. I forgot it was a flashback until it cut back. It was like, oh right, that's there's still everything, the baseball Hall of Fame thing still going on.
Mm-hmm. I loved all the real footage and then cut to like a clean version of Gary Marshall, like holding candy. There's a difference in footage here. I love this movie.
Oh my! I loved it. I mean, I could see myself watching this again. Well, I guess not. I was gonna say real soon, but
yeah,
I'm gonna have to go buy it somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. Make your pick.
Yeah, gotta figure that out.
I don't know.
I mean, if I want the 4K, you know,
Of course, yes. If you got to get all the definition of the green.
Oh, 100%. All that 92 definition.
That's right. Them with the books on their head, just going, yeah, you need all that. The Prim Proper School is also a great scene.
Oh, but yeah.
Yes.
I like when Rosie O'Donnell's character is just eating the biscuits.
Yeah.
Like, yes. That's about right.
Okay. I got a question for you guys.
You okay?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think this movie is about? Like, obviously we know what the plot is, but like, what is the movie about? Because it touches on a lot of different stuff and kind of never resolves anything. I don't think any of the characters actually have like an arc they go through.
No, I would say it's honestly tied by the bookends, because the beginning, the first bookend is Dottie doesn't want to go. Like it was a small, insignificant thing in her long life that she had, even though if she goes there and starts having that realization that like this meant more to her than she realizes. I think that is the major arc of the movie. But during, you're right, there's just so much going on, and like Marla Hooch got like the best like beginning and end story in my opinion. Like she got married, become like a huge baseball star, got married, like got a good life for the most part. I do feel bad for that one lady who lost her husband. That was a very sad scene. But yeah, I think overall there's just so much going on in this movie that I just get lost in the ride. I'm just driving with the girls.
This is one of those movies, and there's like a few of them that it's all charm. It's all the actors are just out there doing their thing. You like them. Like the ending of this movie is just really weird to me, because what did nobody learned anything at the end. She just hits the ball, and it's like you didn't like learn to like, oh, your sister can do it or anything. She didn't, because like, wouldn't the movie be better if like she realized and not swung at the high fastballs, right?
Yeah, it would.
Also, I just need to point one thing out here.
Yeah, of course.
What Dottie is proven to be a bad baseball manager multiple times in this movie. The first time Tom Hanks decides that he needs to coach the team is she's trying to get the hitter to bunt, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, why would you do that? She's the best hitter on the team. Just have her swing away. Don't have her bunt. And they give her the sign. She hits the ball. It works out. And then they get to game 7 of the championship. Last out to get, and she goes up and goes, just throw 3 of the same exact pitch over and over again. I'm sure it'll get her out. That's not how pitching works. You're supposed to change things up and confuse the batter. You don't throw the same pitch 3 times.
She thought she was, gonna get her sister, and then karma, she finally learned how to hit them fastballs. So that's, that ends up being the story, is like, I don't know, I should have not pushed my sister in the wrong way, and there she is. She's the champion now. Which, I love. Actually, I do love the swerve of, at the very least, it's not the team you've been following that wins, because I feel like that happens so much in movies and it becomes uninteresting. The fact that they don't win at the end, I think, is actually kind of awesome. Yeah, I love. I'm trying to remember the name. Oh, I got it. Okay, cool. Of the guy who was the coach of the other team because
he's in Twin Peaks.
He's in Twin Peaks. That's right. My friend Don S. Davis, aka Major Briggs. So I was very happy to remember that he was in this movie. So there you go. I tied it into the show too. Don't think I won't. Because one of my options, I was going to force you guys to watch the movie, even though it'd just be totally ruining the show for you. So
I've already seen the movie, so it would be me and you talking about Twin Peaks and Makenna being like, "What is going on?
What is happening in this movie?" So I'm happy that we chose this one, of course. Yeah.
Something we do every episode, or Brandon does every episode, is he tries to decide, or he decides whether this movie is better or worse than Tokyo Drift.
Yes.
Where are we at?
So
Brandon.
So I've already discussed my problems with this movie. Tokyo Drift has a much better thematic through line for the movie. People go and they learn things and they change in the end. This movie sort of lacks that. I really don't like in this movie that like they just skip through the entire championship like really, really quickly.
Yep.
I would have, because there's two montage sequences in this. One is like a big montage of the season, and then one's a really fast montage of the championships. I would switch those around and make the championship one a bit longer. I think would be better. But yeah, this movie's just enjoyable to watch. The characters are great. It's never not fun. So yeah, it's better than Tokyo Drift.
Yeah. I love as a fellow Fast and Furious fan, I do love me some Tokyo Drift, but man, there's no crack in baseball. I'm sorry.
This is the better movie. If I had to pick between the two right now, I'd probably watch A League of Their Own again.
Yeah. I'm so happy you got a sequel to it earlier. So that's great. But yeah, no, it's all right. Tom Hanks alone just murders everyone.
Yeah, he's really, really good in this. Really good.
Other level. Yeah. God, I want him as my ringtone. I've just been wanting a new ringtone. That's perfect.
League of Their Own. All right. Final thoughts. I think unless there, final thoughts, Mario. Anything you want to add to?
I mean, like I said, growing up, this was just something that was just always on. It's funny because you grow up as a boy and you fall in love with like action figures and Ghostbusters and all male movies. But I would watch this in a heartbeat because everybody was just so enjoyable and fun. Like this is the first, I wouldn't say girl movie because that's what I would say in the 90s. And now I would never say that. But in terms of a female focused movie, this is probably one of the best things you can ever watch in terms of a family, friends, just hanging out. If I watched TV like I did in the 90s, which would just be a TV playing nonstop, the same thing, and this came on, I would stop where I was and like, I'll do the Nick Scarpino. Yeah, I'm just going to watch the rest of, A League of Their Own. So, and I'm glad I own it forever now. So thank you. And then shout out. We didn't talk a lot about Laura Petty, but I love you, Laura Petty. I just want to let you know that Tank Girl, great movie. Yeah. I really enjoyed Tank Girl.
Point Break.
Oh my God, Point Break. I love her raspy voice.
Yeah, no, it's great.
So grating, in such a great way.
I do quite like the feminist angle this movie obviously has, and I think it actually handles it better than most movies that do, because they give you different types of women who are all succeeding at the things that they're doing. Kit wants to play baseball and isn't really focused on family life, and the movie presents that as totally okay. It has Gina Davis's character who wants to just give up and go start a family, and that's okay too. Like, instead of trying to like pin down like this is feminism, they're playing baseball, screw you, the movie is like, no, like they can do whatever they want because they're people. I like that.
Yeah. Also, it's like my first taste of like, what do we do when we don't have sports because of a major thing happening in the world? Well, we put women in it. Well, COVID's like, oh, we can't do that. They thought about it. They're like, we don't want to risk our men getting sick. So let's do another female week. I see just Wrigley just thinking that up. I'm like, oh, again.
Crack the code.
Can't get COVID if you let women play baseball.
No, little known fact, women can't get COVID,
That's
what the old Wrigley told me. I read it in a.
That's what I've heard.
I pulled it from my gum pack, and that's what it said.
it was written and said it was the motivational message inside their gum.
Yes, 100%. Thank you, Wrigley. Oh, Wrigley. Oh boy.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Brandon, do you have any other final thoughts? I know you just spoke, but I don't know if you have anything else to add on.
I'll be really interested in seeing the TV show, especially because, like, I mean, in the 90s when this was made, baseball was so huge that it was like Tom Hanks doing a baseball movie. Like, oh my God, amazing. Baseball is not very popular these days. So it'll be
so many of them, man. So many of them. There was Angels in one of them.
Like the 90s was just like peak, baseball all over the place. Like 90s, early 2000s baseball, and now it's just like nobody cares. So I'll be interested in seeing, like, maybe they should switch the sport.
League of Their Own, just switch the sport to League of Legends. There you go. Sports.
They're with the times.
There you go. Everyone at a convention got sick, so oh man, that would be funny. But oh my God, you're so right. You brought up the fact that there was so many baseball movies. Like there was a kid in the King's Court, which was just a kid that got teleported to Camelot, and he was a baseball player.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, that same kid was also a pitcher in
Rookie of the Year
for the Cubs.
Yeah.
But they're not the same movie. They're separate movies. They're not in the same universe.
What was the 90s?
The 90s was a wild thing. They were just, 80s had drugs. 90s just had angst.
Everything was extreme.
Everything was extreme. Yeah. Angels in the outfield. Let's go.
Man, I missed out.
Once we gave a dog a bunch of sport movies, we were done. We were done. No more Air Bud.
What is it? Wow. What a wild ride. Let me tell you what.
Listen, you invite me on the show, you get the show, okay?
And speaking of yourself,
yes.
Where can the good people find you?
When I'm not talking about A League of Their Own, you can find me at youtube.com/thatMarioRivera, Twitter/thatMarioRivera, and twitch.tv/thatMarioRivera. Mostly these days, I have a show on my YouTube channel where I am playing Halo every level with a new person. And it's been going swimmingly. We're actually closing up season 1. Season 1's actually going to end very, very shortly. And we'll be moving on straight into Halo 2 very, very soon. So looking forward to that. But otherwise, yes, you can find me there at all 3 of those platforms. Also have a podcast called Point in Progress. I feel like them behind me, if I didn't say that, where we also talk about video games and talk about the news and all fun things at youtube.com/pointinprogress and twitch.tv/pointinprogress, where we're doing a lot of live streams. We just became affiliate. Please give us all your Prime subs. If not, obviously give them again.
Brandon, where can they find you?
You can find me at twitter.com/aceswildpod, and you can go listen to the Aces Wild podcast, where it's a fan podcast dedicated to the Wild Aces of the Fan Controlled Football League.
Woo! And you can find me at PotterPants212. Everything that I'm on is linked there. There's a handful of stuff that I'm on. It's there. It's all good stuff, I promise. It's just a lot. And you can find the podcast on Twitter at HBO Max, HBO MAKS. And then it also on Spotify and Apple and YouTube. It's linked.
You'll find
on
it.
Twitter. You'll find it. Yeah, don't worry. It's linked. Yeah. You know, keep watching HBO.
There's no crying in baseball.